amazing match point. What athleticism.
And there you have it, your APTA National Champions.
Best match of the year.
Brilliant shot.
Incredible stuff. And it's sitting up and he's right there.
(2022-2023) APTA Tour. We are live from the Birchwood Club in Highland Park, Illinois, bringing you the 2023 Birchwood Open Men's and Women's NRT, a 2022-2023 APTA Tour event, which is the 9th stop on the APTA Tour, presented by Remedy Plus and sponsored by the APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors, Paddle Pro, and Fusion, and local sponsors, Mesero, Crane Construction Company, Peak Properties, North Star Benefits, Midnight Paddle, and Dr. Jessica Cohn Orthodontics. I'm David Broderick, along with Mark Fischel, bringing you the women's semifinals of the Birchwood Open. Mark, welcome, and why don't you introduce the players for everyone out there watching?
Thank you very much, Dave. Looking forward to working the match with you. On the bottom of the screen at the left in the long jacket is Hallie Bodman, one of the biggest hitters in women's tour. Her partner to her right in the light blue is Chelsea Middle. Chelsea has been to the national finals a couple times and is a really accomplished player. On the far side of the net, we have three-time national champion Liz Cruz in the white vest, and her partner in the pink hat, one of our most intense competitors on tour, although she tells me her daughter is much more of a competitor, Jess Guillot. So let's take a look at the draw, Dave, see how these teams got here. So we see relatively easily, Guillot was stretched a little bit by Schroeder and Cinco, 4 and 5. Should be a fun match. I mean, Guillot and Cruz and Guillot tend to play very slowly, very methodically, and Bodman and Middle tend to play very fast. Bodman hits a lot of balls. She does some blitzing. Once they get into those long grinding points, those are not the points that Bodman and Middle want to be playing.
All right, well, looks like it's going to be a fun match, and it should be competitive. In the chair for today's match, making sure keeping play smoothly, is umpire Rob LeBune.
Former partner of mine. Of course, that doesn't narrow it down too much, I guess. A lot of people dump me.
We did, yeah.
I still remember a few years back, you and Rob LeBune firing through the Short Hills Club with a big win.
Yeah, that was my last one about 25 years ago. Yeah, Liz Cruz is one of the smartest players on tour. Moved out to Chicago last year. Been playing this year for the most part with Macy Elliott's old partner, Marcella Redesno. They've had some good results. We saw them last weekend in Boston really compete with Hannah Zabori. Lost, I think, 1 in 6 in a real tight competitive match. So Liz just has a way of finding what's going on the court, and Jess Guillot is going to be playing the ad side, just a great competitor. So I think that Bodman and Middle are going to have their hands full here, and they're going to have to find some weak spots. And that big Bodman forehand and the middle backhand are really dangerous. So I look for, unusually so, I look for the higher seeded team to play a slower pace. Usually in our sport, it's the opposite, isn't it, Dave?
I'm sorry, say that again, Mark?
Usually in our sport, it's the opposite, where the higher seeded team usually wants to play faster.
It is, but I think to your point, the speed of play is going to dictate. They're going to want to play a little bit of a slower pace of play, but I'm sure when they get their opportunities, they're going to take advantage of it. And we'll see how that plays out through the course of the match.
The players taking their serves. Rob Laboon introducing the players. And I'd have to double check this, but I think that Chelsea Middle's last Nationals final might have been against Liz Cruz and Anna Brazova in Chicago.
Yeah, Liz, that was one of Liz's partners in her national titles.
Won her other two with Gabby Nicolescu. And then came a whisker away from winning in 2020. They lost 8-7-5 in the third to Hannah Sabori, as Hannah Sabori have started their run. Okay, looks like all four women are done warming up, and we're going to get started. Not a lot of events run 2 hours and 45 minutes late, Dave, huh?
Well, we did have the last men's semifinal was a 3-setter, good match that we showed to you earlier, and it seems like all the matches are, unfortunately, taking a while because they are very well played competitive matches, and we both know in this sport that long matches are not it's not a rarity. It happens quite a bit.
Yeah, especially as you get, some of the top teams outside of the top 5 or 10 where they don't really have overheads that can do a lot of damage, although Tyler Frazier has one of the best. But the other semi, you could see it was just 4 really solid players, and they were just grinding and grinding, which is the essence of the game. Okay, so it looks like Liz Cruz is going to start us out. See Bodman in the middle having a conversation. And Chelsea Middle will be playing the deuce court. She prefers her backhand to her forehand, but she'll drive both.
That'll be interesting to watch for, Mark. Chelsea Middle hitting that backhand from down the middle because, most of the time you're looking to play to the middle to create openings in the corners.
Yeah, I'm looking for Cruz and Guillot to get a lot of balls on the wires. I think they're going to play the corners and get a lot of balls on the side wires and make these guys grind. Here comes that big Bodman forehand.
We see right off the first 2 points, Middle and Bodman are looking to attack, looking to force the tempo to pick up a little bit.
Great scrambling from Cruz. Oh, what a half volley from Jess Guillot. And those are the points that Bodman Middle want to play. They want fast exchanges at the net, a lot of drives, a lot of volleying. They don't want to get into these long grinding points. Jess Guillot disingenuously apologizes.
And I'll tell you what, they didn't win the first game, Mark, but they definitely forced the pace of play.
Did we see a lob that game?
There was not one lob that game.
Not one lob. Not a lot of games played that way.
No.
I'd be surprised if this game is played that way because you can see a lot of lobbing from Cruz Guillot, who have not played together to the best of my knowledge previously, but should be a real tough team. Hallie Bodman to serve to Liz Cruz. Our first lob, that was exciting.
And you see, like you were saying earlier, right off the bat, the differences in styles of play and what they're looking to do as a team.
He was one of the best movers on tour. Really gets around the court well. Been to semis and nationals several times, including last year with Jacqueline Williamson. And there's that hard overhead we're going to see a lot of from Bodman. She really wants to speed up the pace of play. It's going to be very hard to speed up Cruz Guillot. They
I
both
think
drive
the
the ball,
homework of
except
timeline's going to be with the hard hit overheads from Bodman, if she's speeding up play or she's actually setting you and Cruz up for attacking shots.
yeah, Cruz drives the ball so well off the wires. It's really hard to attack her with that hard overhead. I think there was a foot fault and a regular fault. Do you think that should count as 2, Dave?
Unfortunately, it doesn't.
Big shout out to Mirta Molenveld, one of Jess Gio's old partners, who's watching in Detroit. Jess Gio was renowned for going for like an 8-mile run before her match. Usually has a big thing of Coke she's sipping on with lots of candy she's eating all day.
Breakfast of champions.
Just a superb athlete in great shape. Great blitz there from Bodman, but misses it. Yeah, we talk a lot about margins, Dave, and you can see it in this match that the margin for Bodman Middle is just really small. There are lots of ways for Cruz Gio to win this match. There are not a lot for Bodman and Middle.
My question mark would be then, we watched them 6 straight points, blitzing on returns. They've lost the 6. Is this a game plan that they can keep up and win with?
You know, I don't know that they can win any other way, Dave. I think they've got to return really well, and they've got to be effective with their blitzes. I don't think there's a secondary strategy for them. And that's what I was referring to with margins, whereas I think Cruz and Gio can win any number of ways.
Right.
So there, Cruz is one of the best volleyers in the game. Handles the blitz, and now where does the offense come from here?
A really good overhead there by Jessica Gio.
One of the really fun things about watching Hallie Bodman play is she just always has a big smile on her face. Middle as well, but Bodman just seems always to be smiling. As you can see, as they're changing sides, they're laughing.
Nice to see they're having a little conversation here. Maybe slow play down a little bit, as much as they may not want to, but just to sort of, break it up a little bit.
Well, they played 3 games and they've won 1 point, so I would say the strategy has not worked terribly effectively so far. I don't think that's going too far out on the limb. Is that our other men's semi still going on at the top of the screen, Dave?
I think they're in the 3rd set, yes.
So what's the likelihood that this match ends before that match? Okay, Chelsea Middle to serve. Jess Gio is really good at placing her lobs here. A lot of down the line lobs. She can look to force Middle to hit some overheads and kind of shrink the court. Especially in the block lob. She loves to catch that ball early.
I think that's a good strategy of Gio to lob down the line, because they're going to want to force Middle trying to hit that ball cross court over to Liz Cruz's forehand.
Cruz will drive the forehand. The backhand's probably a better shot, but she's very effective with both. Good eye there. That new forehand from Jess Gio. She completely changed her grip a couple years ago into that Western forehand. It's really an effective shot.
And I think you kind of in today's game, everyone has a big forehand. I think something that at the higher levels, you really need to have.
See some positive energy for Bodman there, despite the way things are going for them. Cruz is so precise with that backhand. There's that down the line lob we were talking about. Now there's the strategy, Dave.
That's it. The left cord winner.
Yeah, the let cord overhead winner.
1 for 1.
Great volley from Bodman on a right hip there. Good swing from Gio. Misses that one. Our first deuce. You can see how much trouble Gio's lobbing is giving them.
Yeah,
So much movement at the net.
Moving around at the net and creating opportunities for when Cruz does get that ball over there.
Another point for love. There's that big Western forehand from Gio. I know she and Scott Kahlo went out and hit about 1,000 of them. Unfortunately, Jess had more of an aptitude for Scott. He was never quite able to pick it up.
All right, so 4-love here. First set.
If they can't hurt him on that return to serve, I just don't know where the offense is going to come from.
Right, and Gio and Cruz have been doing a really good job on the first volleys.
They both volley exceptionally well.
Yeah, first mistake they've made.
Bodman's got to be effective with her forehand return and get them ahead in the point. There you go, exactly like that. Love the positive energy from Bodman in middle.
Good volley there.
Great depth in the volleys from Cruz.
I think if you're Cruz coming in and you feel like it's a big drive, I don't think they should be worried if they let the ball go through and place in the backboard.
Yep.
See a big drive there.
Can't lose the points in return to serve. Paddle Pro. For over 20 years, Paddle Pro is recognized as industry leader.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your body with the shot and the bar. Now available in a deliciously energizing power pack.
Okay, let's see if they can get a hold of serve. Some big returns there. We'll see if Gio and Cruz and Gio adjust to it. Doing what you suggest to it, just staying back. Look how many lobs they're forcing him out of the service box to hit overheads on.
Yeah, no, they're really doing a good job of moving him at the net. They're going to get some opportunity, I think, with the balls going side to side from Middle and Bodman.
Got to be careful with the down-up overhead. Love how short in the court Gio plays, looking to take the ball on the rise. Just a really well-placed forehand.
And Mark, you see Cruz and Gio playing a more patient game, but they're actually applying more pressure than the team that's trying to speed up play to create the pressure.
Yep, absolutely. And as we talked about, you create pressure with good lobs. You don't have to drive to create pressure. Getting that movement at the net is so imperative to be a successful backcourt team. Look how many forehand volleys we've seen from Bodman in middle. Just great driving from Cruz and Gio.
Yeah, they're really keeping them off balance at the net.
Great volleying there from Bodman. Again, that block lob, just stealing time.
And she's hitting them really well. Gio's lobbing really well out of that corner.
A great read from Gio. Just saw that down up overhead coming, blitzed it, and it's 5-1 Cruz Gio. Dave, would it be appropriate to say that they have it in cruise control?
They certainly do have it in cruise control right now.
Little conversation between Bodman and middle. I like that. Great volley from Gio.
Really neutralizing the blitz attack.
Granger Landropoulos are through 6-3 in the third. Going to try and get a time in that match. It was certainly 3+ hours. Got to wonder how much they're going to have left for the final. Another great volley by Gio. 30-15. And there's exactly what you talked about, Dave. Just let the ball through. Don't lose the point, and they end up winning it on a lob. Double set point.
I think it's 30-all, Mark. I think
I had 40-15, but possible I'm wrong.
you get by Bodman there.
Oop, looks like you were right. 40-30. So this is set point. Okay, we get some notification from Matt McClure, our producer. 17 hours and 43 minutes. Relatively long match. Oh, that's a great shot. Now there you see the good lob set up the point.
Yep, no, that
Pushed
was
her
really
way
well
off the net.
by Bodman.
And there you find Liz Cruz backing off the net. You will not see much of that. Jessica Gio made the finals of the NCAA Doubles Championship, as Jessica Johnson and Sheedy, APD Executive Director, informs me. And there's the break, 5-2. And again, they're losing points on return to serve.
Yeah, and even a couple of the overheads, there was a fault in that game, a wide overhead. But the first volley is going to be key. And I think for Cruz and Gio, once they get that, make that first volley, I think they're in control of the point, and they're just not going to have to get impatient too early in the point, because I think once, they get Middle and Bodman lobbing the ball, I think, that's the game, like you said, they want to play.
Yeah, we have not seen Bodman and Middle win many points after the first exchange of the first 3 balls. Some more laughing and smiling. Chelsea middle to serve. Gio was pounding that forehand, didn't she?
Right now, she does have the biggest forehand on the court.
And she's spotting it really well. Look at that lob. She's 3 feet behind the service line. Again, behind the service line. Cruz trailing in on that ball and caught the nick perfectly. That was a really well played point by the backcourt team. Just had control of the point, pushed them around at the net. Cruz ended up missing the drive, but really well played.
I think a lot of that was the lob set up by Jessica Gio.
Yeah, again, same thing, right? She pushes Bodman back, catches the down up overhead at its high point, and hits it at Bodman's feet as she's moving forward.
Yeah, no, they're doing a really good job of pushing them back and dragging them back in. Pushing them back and dragging them back to the net.
Okay, game in first set. Bodman middle. I'm sorry, Cruz Gio. 6-2. Okay, we'll be right back after these messages right here on the APTA YouTube channel presented by CPTC.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your body with the shot and the bar. Now available in a deliciously energizing power pack. See how much farther you can go with Remedy Plus.
We are back at the Birchwood Open, starting the second set of the women's semifinals between Cruz and Gio, playing Bodman and middle. It was Cruz Gio winning the first set, 6-2.
Yeah, it's fine.
And here's the start of the second set. Mark, what do you think that Bodman and middle are going to have to do to change it up here in the second set?
I think they're just going to have to play better. I don't think they're going to adjust because that's just not their game. I think they're going to have to return better and do a better job in blitzing. But it's a tall order against a team that volleys as well as Cruz and Gio. I mean, we know that our game is all about matchups, and this is just a tough matchup for Bodman middle.
And it's interesting because both games that Bodman and middle won, they broke serve, but they just couldn't hold.
I don't think they had a game point on their own serves. So again, same thing. Good return, pretty good blitz from Bodman, but Gio Cruz have the answer.
Yes.
15 love. Yeah, that's a good serve from Cruz. Finds the backhand of Bodman. Cruz is just so still when she volleys. Such a tremendous volleyer.
And has great touch, as we see on that little drop shot there.
I played against Liz Cruz in her first tournament ever, a mixed doubles tournament. I was astonished at how well she handled pace. Most new players, you know, when you're in the backcourt, you get the hard overhead at them. They can't handle it. Liz just blocked everything back beautifully. 3 national championships later.
Yeah, she's a really good, tough player.
Great competitor, really smart, understands the game. Very well-rounded. It's a great get from Bodman. There's a great blitz there from Middle. This is a really important game for Bodman Middle to get off to a good start. Great blitz there.
Yep.
Oh, what a volley from Cruz. Boy, Bodman played the near perfect point, and Cruz hit that shoot top volley and kept it low.
And I think, Mark, to your point, this is a big game for them because I think they feel more comfortable returning and blitzing than they do serving and coming in.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, that was another great blitz by Middle, but he misses the volley. It's a hard volley. It looks like an easy volley, but you're moving forward so quickly, and controlling it's very difficult. There's another great return from Bodman. Boy, she drives the ball well off of both wings. There we go. Back to the let cord plan. I think that's smart. The old John Milbank line. You don't get let cords if you lob.
That's right. It's serving them well right now. You just see how far inside the court they're standing.
Big return there from Bodman. Yeah, that was a big game for him. Now they got to figure out a way to hold serve.
So if you're Gio and Cruz, if this set goes tight or it stays, it's tighter than the first set was, do you ever think about serving and staying back?
Absolutely. I think to your point earlier, Dave, that's where all the points are coming from. I mean, they've obviously won that set. They won that game. They won a couple of points otherwise, but virtually all their points are coming on serve, return to serve. Stay back. They're controlling play completely with their lobbing, and just don't lose points that way. I mean, to me, that's what serve's all about. Don't lose points on your serve.
Right.
And I also think it's very frustrating for someone like Bodman, who's got such a great return to serve, to lose her target.
Right. No, it's much easier and more effective when you have a targeting to aim at.
Yeah. Oh, look at that.
Just back.
Oh, just misses that one. Great hands by Gio handling that pace. Just missed it. And those are the types of points they're going to have to win to be competitive this match. And those are the misses they simply can't afford.
Right.
Wild forehand from Gio. First one she really missed badly. Big moment in the match right here. You got to get some scoreboard pressure on him. Yeah, that's just, that overhead is going to get eaten up too hard off the back wire, and Gio punishes them.
Yeah, no, and that was a well-spotted drive.
Catches the nick. Gio doesn't have the answer. Kind of sense this is Bodman and Middle's moment. You've got to take advantage right here. Oh, I like the I formation.
Really good volley there by Bodman. But also, Mark, if you're noticing in the last two games, Bodman and Middle have actually been winning more of the longer exchanges. As they miss a first volley there, but I think that's, as we talked about earlier, about picking up pace and forcing play. But they've been doing a better job, and if they can win more of the long points, that's a real bonus for them.
Absolutely. I think this is just a critical game for them to win. Just too many careless errors. That's the ball Chelsea Middle makes 99 times out of 100. when you play these top teams, you just got to get them to slow down. You got to make that volley. You got to get over that initial hurdle to slow them down. And
Right.
so far, Bodmin Middle haven't done that yet. Interesting to see if they change their strategy. They've had a couple of long conversations, but let's see if that changes anything. Big forehand from Bodmin. Another lobless point, Dave. We should have a stat.
That's right.
Your brother would not be happy with that.
No.
Fault from Gio. And you can see the pressure that the Bodmin Middle are putting on with the return of serve is affecting their serves. Same thing.
If they break here, all 4 of their games won will be on breaks of serve.
And there's the break. And it's all coming to return of serve. Another lobless game. They just have to find a way to hold serve. Got to play a solid game here. Can't afford to give anything away. If they can start to get a little separation on the scoreboard, you're going to see the match tighten up and Cruz and Gio not swinging quite as fluidly as they have been.
And I think Cruz and Gio have to just be careful of what we're seeing right now, that, you know, they're starting to make a few careless mistakes. They're keeping Middle and Bodmin in it. You know, so far Bodmin and Middle haven't really taken advantage of, you know, the returns of serve when they're breaking serve. You know, I don't think Cruz and Gio want to keep them hanging around by giving away points.
And I'm always reminded of the Hogan adage, which is in women's paddle, the better volleying team is going to win the match more often than not. And you see how many forehand volleys Bodmin and Middle are hitting versus Gio and Cruz. And Gio tends to hit a lot of forehand volleys, but just not putting up that wall with those backhand volleys and being in a good position.
Another really good lob from Gio.
If you can win points lobbing the ball, why drive it? I guess that's your brother's theory, isn't it?
It's anti-John Milbank.
Yeah. See, again, you see that forehand volley. When you have to flip that paddle over and hit that forehand volley, it's much more difficult. And
it was set up by a great lob by Liz Cruz out of the deuce corner over there.
Yep. Whoa! Jess Gio was in full retreat. I was in full retreat on that ball, Dave.
Yeah, I think it hit her on a fly.
Yeah. That could be a big point. That was game if it doesn't hit her. She clearly wasn't trying to hit her. Just mishit it. But these are the types of breaks you need when you're behind. Great volley, Great volley there. A little bit lucky, but they all look like line drives in the box score. Boy, look at that lobbing from Gio. Great volley there from Bodmin. Here it comes. She misses it and her on that one.
And it's interesting early on in the second point, Cruz and Gio they're playing a lot of good solid points from the baseline. You know, sometimes they're not winning them, but they're still controlling the tempo.
Yep, 100%.
So from their perspective, I think they still have to stay patient and, just continue to play good, solid points.
Great blitz from middle, and again, you see Cruz off the net. That's really surprising for her. See if they adopt a different strategy here against Bodman. Yeah, there's Cruz staying back. That's exactly what you talked about, Dave. Just stay in the point, because they're winning so many points this way.
Right.
Why risk it? She's got one of the best forehands in the game. Boy, Cruz is really jerking him around. She's really creating a lot of movement at the net.
Yeah, they're just doing a really good job of opening the court up. Look at that.
That is exactly how you're supposed to lob. If you're a league player watch that point again and learn to lob that way. Oh, great backhand there. It was too hard an overhead from Gio, and Bodman made her pay.
I think Gio and Cruz right now are they're hitting too many forehand volleys. They're Bodman in the middle of getting them to flip their paddle over.
Boy, another lead court for Bodman middle. They have gotten a bunch. 15:40 for our 5th consecutive break to start set number 2.
Another break point here.
They need this point. They can't afford to lose these games. Great blitz from middle. Remedy Plus, the 22-23 APTA Tour is brought to you by Remedy Plus. When you need that extra boost in the pedal,
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave.
What do you think they need to do, Dave, to try and hold serve, which they have been unsuccessful for the entire match?
I think they may almost want to do the same strategy. They may want to serve and stay back, and then look to hit drives and blitz from the baseline. Because that seems to be working, but I don't know if they'd be able to do it as effectively off the return of serve.
Well, you can really feel the match turning here if they could just get one hold. Those faults are just killing them. Just too many faults.
It just seems every time Middle and Bodman take a step forward, they do something to take a step back.
Yep, I think that's spot on. Well, let's see if they can manage it here. Another great lob from Liz Cruz.
I watch and often hear you say it where they're not creating any separation.
Yep, that's what they need. They desperately need some scoreboard separation. And that'll really increase the pressure on Cruz and Gio. Big point right here. Again, the ball movement. Cross-court lob, and then Bodman misses the volley and shifting over.
Right, and I think, quite honestly, a big part of that whole point was that Gio and Cruz decided to let that big forehand go through the middle and go back to the baseline.
A great get from Gio. Again, she opened the court up beautifully, just missed the forehand. And here we are, another deuce game, another chance to hold and get some separation.
that by middle, but even better volley by Gio after she started that off with a well-placed drive.
Just Gio's got a lot of misses. That's 2 forehands this game. And they just have to take advantage of this. They've got to find a way through this, get these next couple of points. Another lead cord.
I think, again, based on the styles that each team wants to play, I don't think Gio and Cruz can give away quick, easy points. And it's keeping Bodman in middle in the match.
Yep. Clever drive there from Liz Cruz. Great recovery from middle there. Yeah, those soft overheads are so effective. But there was a hard overhead. Middle punishes her.
Yep. But again, we see another forehand volley.
Yep. That overhead's got to be soft and deep. Another fault on a big moment. Bodman middle. And you can see the margins we talked about earlier. They're so close to getting over the hurdle and getting into this match, and they miss a volley, they fault. Just a little bit here and there. Switching balls after 7 games, as we do in the Grand Prix. Just Gio to serve, see if she hits it once or twice to warm it up.
And even in that last game, Mark, you saw how, they had a break point and Gio misses the forehand wide. And then she gets another break point and basically hits it right at Bodman. And, she gets a miss out of that. I think they got to still stick with that, just make them hit more balls as well.
Lob misses long. You got to wonder if Bodman and middle have kind of missed their opportunity. They had 3 games in a row. They had deuce. There's a fault from Gio. See Cruz using signals, telling Gio where she's going. Good lob in there from Bodman. She misses that one.
And think about it, Mark. Middle and Bodman, they have 3 breaks of serve in this set already.
But now you're seeing all those drives that were so effective the last few games. They missed a couple, and the hold to serve they were unable to get. It looks like Gio's about to get. Little confusion there. Oh, what a shot from Bodman. Love the little backhand chip. Middle recognized the blitz, but misses the volley, and our first hold to serve of the set.
That was a very good volley by Liz Cruz to stay in the point. I think, yeah, that was a big game because now again, Bodman and middle have to serve, and they've won 5 games, and it's all breaks of serve. They haven't held once.
And now they got to find a way to do something they haven't done the entire match. Another great lob. It's just brilliantly played. And All of a sudden, you see Guillot swinging a little more freely with the forehand. It's so much an easier game to play when you're ahead than when you're behind.
And just even on that last point, Guillot was in control of the point the whole time. He varied the pace of all those shots.
Okay, Jess Guillot lets us know that she missed her that time. Jess's daughter Haley won her first tennis tournament, 12 and under. She's 8 years old.
Congratulations to her.
She said her son Cam wants to be a professional gamer. Boy, that was a sloppy forehand miss from her there. Haley would not have been happy with that if she was here. That's a great backhand from Cruz, but where is Bodman going? Why? I mean, that was on her backhand side. Why is she not up there with her paddle ready for it?
Right.
She's volleyed so well most of the match, but I think that's a function of that forehand volley that you talked about earlier, where she's reaching and then the ball surprises her on the left side. Okay. Serving for the match, Liz Cruz. See the difference in the lobbing, how many times they're hitting their overheads from inside the service box. And how they're able to hit offensive overheads.
Bodman and Middle aren't creating that back and forth movement at the net to get them out of position.
Catches the net, great view of that one. See if Cruz stays back here. If she's going to, I think it makes sense to have Guillot in the middle, taking away that cross-court return to make her go down the line. Look where Bodman is. She's 5 feet inside the baseline. I like the play, but I think she should have Guillot in the center of the court, taking away that cross-court return, make her take it down the line.
Correct. Yeah. No, I agree.
It's just a long way to go to make a volley, charging towards the net. 2 points from the match.
They're sticking with their plan.
Oh, Cruz wants that one back. Bodman and Middle were in all sorts of trouble. Boy, you saw both Cruz and Guillot kind of bailing out there. Bodman put that ball 3 feet over the net would be fine. Match point. Great backhand from Cruz, and it's game, set, and match. Cruz Guillot 6-2, 6-3. Dave, any closing thoughts?
Well, to your point earlier, I think Cruz and Guillot really controlled the pace of play with their baseline play, with all the lobbing and moving the team back and forth. And I just didn't, Middle and Bodman just never took advantage of all the breaks of serve they had.
Yeah, they just didn't have any answers as to how to hold serve.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. And like I said, you know, maybe they wanted to stay back and blitz a little bit more off the baseline during the point. But
one thing's for certain, Dave, it couldn't have worked worse than the strategy they employed.
That is true,
Right.
and they did stick with it. But
Yeah,
again, you have to give credit to Guillot and Cruz. They did play a very good match.
Yeah, but I think to your point is if something's not working, you got to change it up. You got to do something different. We saw a little bit of that with the I formation from Bodman and Middle, but I think that they would have been better off staying back and Find something different. I mean, we played 17 games. They served 8 times and lost serve 8 times.
Right.
So if you're out there and it's not working, try something new. Stay back, play Australian, stay back and come in. Try and make the opponents think when there's return and serve.
Oh, I agree. And Mark,
Okay.
that's a wrap from the women's semifinals. We will be back live with the men's finals coming up shortly.
High performance never tasted this good. Chocolate, berries, cinnamon, agave. Fuel your car, then fuel your body with Remedy Plus.